Gentlemen, I'm going to shoot straight with you. If you're not doing semen retention going into 2026, you are missing out. You are missing out. And you're setting yourself up for a disadvantage compared to all the men that are doing it. Like, the benefits that I've experienced, guys, in the last 77 days on my streak, it's staggering. It's crazy. So much so that I can say a man who is not on semen retention will almost always lose to a man who is on semen retention. It's just it's the most unfair advantage, guys, that exists for men who do it. And going into the new year, man, if you're not doing this, what are you freaking doing? What are you doing? You kidding me? Today's literally the 77th day of this streak for me. And I'll tell you what, and you know what? Just realize this. This is the last day of the new year. And isn't it interesting that for me, this lined up as 77 days? It's like this number of completeness. Like it's allowed my body to work through something completely and shift into this next version of myself. And I'm going to make another video on this because I think it's worth its own video. But I've heard a lot of talk about how sperm matures at day 77, 78. I've heard some people say 74. I've seen some research say day 64. A lot say day 70. It's in this range. And that's the amount of time it takes for a sperm to completely mature. Basically, for you to be in a place where you can pump that into a woman, create just an absurdly healthy, optimized child. Yes? But think about this. If you go this long on the semen retention streak, where does that new life go? It goes inward. It goes to you. I had a guy drop a comment talking about he got on this huge streak and then ended up, creating a daughter, and then some moron made a dumb comment. So I had fun responding to that one. But the first comment, it's like, wait, what if we're not putting that into a woman, though? That is the energy of a new life being made and created. But now it's inward. And this would explain why after day 70, I felt such a shift. I made a video about it. I said I felt like I'm hitting this next tier of energy, this next level of being that I'm working through. And this would also make sense why a lot of other men who have, gotten to this 70+ day streak kind of just start cutting people off who are just crossing boundary lines, and just like people are falling out, and you're just being more okay being by yourself. I think that it's because I am now embodying and holding new life, matured new life within. And since it has nowhere else to go, it goes into creating new life within me. How relevant is that going into a new year? Again, depends which calendar you follow, the Gregorian one or, whether it starts in April, actually, April Fools. That's a whole nother topic. But how cool is this? To be creating new life within me, and now to be on the number of completion, 77, going into a new calendar year tomorrow for day 78. How cool is that? The benefits that I have experienced, the internal healing, the version of me that I am becoming and turning into, I don't ever want to go back. And I think that's why so many men get on these streaks and realize, I don't know if I want to give up this streak for any women. It's going to take a damn special woman. Because I'm falling in love with my life, with myself, with this version of me I'm becoming, with the confidence. Oh my God, the confidence, guys. The anxiety and the depression are basically gone on this, especially like social anxieties and just confidence and overthinking stuff and what are other people thinking, all this stuff. It just melts away. I don't recognize me 2.5 months ago. That's how great this is. And I'm telling you, between this version of me and the other version of me 2.5 months ago, this version of me wins every single time. I will bet on this version of me over that version of me every single time, which is why I can confidently say, if you're a man and you're not doing semen retention and aiming that power into your life, you are 99% of the time going to lose out to a man who is doing semen retention and is taking advantage of that power. It's an energy game. He's got more energy. You don't. If you're depleted and some other guy's got more energy, you don't stand a chance. Life is just an energy game. Of course, it's like who you're becoming, right? Like there's a caveat to that, right? You could argue, you make some arguments about, well, what if I'm better at this? Okay, let's assume there's two equal versions of men from a 3D skill set standpoint, looks, body density, like body makeup, gene makeup, whatever. Two very similar guys. The one on semen retention absolutely will win out every time. My thoughts, guys, the mental clarity that I have been gifted and finding on this journey. The ability to take risks on myself now without fear. Like going into the new year, guys, like taking risks with the company, with the business, growing, scaling. It's like, it's either going to work or it doesn't. Let's find out. Every time I've done this in the past on semen retention streaks with my company, we hit new opportunities, new levels of growth. This is the first time I've ever gone this long on a streak, 77 days today. Which is, by the way, a very lucky number. If you look into numerology and the meanings, it's a number of completion. It's also a lucky number. How great is that? If that's not a foreshadower of what's to come in my new year, the luck, right? The opportunities, the abundance, right? The luck that I have going into the new year. How cool is that? All I know is that I wouldn't trade this version of me that I am today for the version of me that I was 2.5 months ago. I just wouldn't. Was it very difficult to get here? Yeah, it was. It's getting easier now that I've set my intention very clearly that my goal is to go, man, I would love to go an entire year straight and see what happens with this energy. I think that would be so cool. With every level, as I say, there's a new devil, right? Every level, there's just a new thing to work through. But I'm telling you, after 70 days, something flipped. A new switch flipped. I've been slipping out of my body, all these out-of-body experiences. I'm not even trying. It's just happening. It's fun. I feel like I'm coming online. Like I feel like I'm becoming a kid again. Joy is starting to come back into my life. Spurts of happiness are coming back into my life. Greater motivation and fulfillment is coming back into my life. And this is all happening on the tail end of literally the hardest year of my life. Losing my mom in July and everything that has entailed. And as a man, losing that feminine love and support. Not that you really lose it, because they're never really gone, but you know what I mean, that there is a falling away, a making space of that energy when it transitions to a different dimension, if that makes sense. And guys, semen retention is allowing me to face the demons, the inner demons, to work through this stuff, to sit with myself, to love myself. It's gotten me through this 100%. It's getting me closer to God, to my Creator. It's helping me truly understand how men of old, men before our time, used this in their lives to be great, to do great things, supernatural things that we look at them and say, wow, what a great man. Look what he achieved. He was magnetic. Yeah, they were doing this. It gives me eyes to see and ears to hear, guys. Like, as if I can understand why that works, looking at people and get intuitive hits and an understanding of the situation that's unfolding, seeing through people that I need to see through. I'm telling you, this allows you to tap in. And isn't it interesting why the world is so sexualized? Like, my brain, guys, is so desexualized. It is so unlinked from sex right now. It is wild. Very rarely is that thought even popping into my head these days. It's incredible. And isn't that interesting that why would the world be so sexualized? Because it brings us down to our lower energy centers where we are typically releasing this energy out of, right? Maybe the Matrix, this world is designed to try to keep men low energy, not tapping into these abilities, this power, this raw power that we can aim at whatever we want to aim it at in our life. Why not go into the new year harnessing that power and aiming at what you desire in your life? Why the hell not? Why not do that? If you're watching this and you're a man, you've already experienced sex. You've already experienced what it's like to release, ejaculate, watch stuff. You've already seen all the beautiful women. You've already experienced all that. Why not take a year to move all that love inward, to love yourself enough to take a chance and say, I'm going to bet on me for a year. What if I kept all of this energy that I'm just throwing at everybody outside of me? What if I kept that and poured it inward? What would happen in my life? Who would I become if I did that in my life? Who would I become? We gotta go hit our workout. And I don't know how long that place is open, so I'm gonna get rolling as I talk. Why not aim all that energy inward for a year, guys? So as we're going literally into a new year, a new calendar year, ask yourself, does the man I want to be require more energy? That that version of me that I know I can become, that I know I can obtain, does he need more energy than what you're currently dealing with? Does he have some habits and some programs that have to go for that version to arrive? Right? Does an old version of you quite literally have to die for that greater version of you to be born? Think about that. Because guess what? It's the story of those two wolves, right? Whatever one you feed is the one that gets bigger, the one that grows stronger, and the one that overtakes and eats the other one. So you've got this version of you that you're not satisfied with, and there's this other version of you that is great, fulfilled, has achieved everything you could ever desire, is commands respect, right? Is joyful, fulfilled. Those wolves, they have two different appetites. Which one are you going to feed in the new year? Are you going to hit the websites? You're going to hit the websites? You're going to release all your energy? Uselessly? Just throw it around like it's not worth anything? Are you going to do that? Because if you do that, you're feeding the wolf of your past that you're currently dealing with, and guess what? That's what you're going to get more of in the new year. That one's going to grow bigger, better, stronger, so you can basically look at your future now and say, that's going to look just like my past has looked. You can look at the past and all the stuff that's happened. You can basically just copy paste that into your new year, because that's what you're feeding. That's why going into my new year now, guys, with this energy, with this power that I'm just aiming at my life, I'm undoing so much. All these vices, all of these negative ambitions, they're just naturally dissolving the longer that I go on this. And now I'm building my new year around, no, what would it look like to take an entire year to go all in on me, no matter what? Where would I live doing that? What would that look like? What would my weeks look like? How much would I need to be doing? Like, what would my calendars, my schedules be looking like with all this stuff? That's the magic. You know, I heard this saying, this quote the other day, today actually, and I shared it with one of my groups. I'll share it with you. If your life was a movie and the audience is watching it all play out, they've seen your whole life, seen the whole movie, and they're looking at the screen, what are they screaming at the screen right now? Like, to do next, you know? They've seen your whole life play out as a movie, and they're just screaming at the screen, just freaking do the thing. You know, if it's a horror movie, it's like, pick up the freaking gun. You know how the dumb blonde women in all these horror movies, there's always the gun laying there, and instead of picking it up, they just run away, and then they get shot, and they get caught by the bad guy and, you know, killed or whatever. You know, you're screaming at the screen, it's so obvious. Grab the gun. It's so obvious. From our perspective, us not being in it, we're just watching the movie play out. As the audience, it's so obvious. Do the thing. Freaking do the thing. Go after the girl. That was the right girl for you. That was the right guy for you. It's so obvious, but in their perspective, it's not obvious. So my question for you is, your life is the movie. What is the audience screaming at the screen right now that is so obvious? It is so obvious that it is your right next step, your right next move. It is blatantly obvious to them. And you're sitting here fumbling, fumbling around. What's the thing? What's the move? You can probably feel it in your gut, the thing that immediately pops out. It's like, bro, just go for the thing. You have the idea. Jump on the idea. Start the business. Get fit. Get your health taken care of. Get your mind right. Break up with that terrible girlfriend who's sucking you dry. You know, pour that energy into me for a season. Marry the girl. Maybe you found one. Maybe she's great. You know, what is the obvious thing? Do the thing. For me, the obvious thing is keep semen retention going and channel that into all these exciting things in my life, all these opportunities, these desires that I have. I'll just focus that, and that's what the audience is yelling at me. Take the risks now, dude. You've got the power. You've got the energy now. I'm telling you, man, if you go into the new year not taking your sexual energy seriously and not harnessing this energy like you should be, you will lose to men who are, over and over and over, because they are inevitably becoming better versions of themselves like clockwork daily. It is compounding, it is snowballing, and it's not even anything they're doing besides holding in their nuts and letting nature, reality, do what it does. It raises our frequencies and it purifies us of things we need to be purified of low frequency programming, vices, habits, addictions, whatever. And it's raising our frequency, and it makes us, you know, we are able to attract the life now that we truly desire. It's as simple as that. So if you want to be great, but also aim that energy inward, embody it, and you'll become great. If you got big desires, you feel like they're out of reach, it's because they probably are energetically out of reach. This version of you probably can't reach them, probably can't get you to that finish line. Who do you need to become to get to that next level? I genuinely hope some of you hearing this, some of you men watching this, listening to this, take this seriously and make a choice to go into the new year working on yourself, holding on to this energy. It'll change your life. I'm going to keep documenting my life as I do this for you guys. That's the whole point of this. That I have a vlog of videos that you can go back on and you say, wow, wait, look at this, you know, this progression that he made. And hey, if you're not where you want to be today, guess what? Start today. You don't have to feel like you're already there to start. Is Planet Fitness closed? It looks closed. Maybe? Guess we're gonna quick find out. Otherwise it is just obnoxiously empty. Well, that's slightly disappointing. Dude, these places with their hours, I tell you, they don't make any sense why they would close on a 6:30. Or is it New Year's? I didn't even think of that. I don't care about any of these holidays. I don't really celebrate anything. That's totally it. I guess I'll have to go do some push-ups at home. But I'll say this, guys. You are capable of being great. You're worthy of being great. You're worthy of this life that you want, but you need some energy to get there. Go into the new year, bet on yourself. I'm doing it, and it's literally changing my life, and I'm so grateful for it. And that's why I'm here sharing this information. If you like this stuff, if this resonated with you, hit subscribe, follow along, follow the journey. Drop me a comment if you have questions or observations. Let me know what day you're on your semen retention journey. Give it a like. helps more men find this. And I'll get you on the next one. Peace, love, abundance to you all. Catch you tomorrow.